And one of the things that I want everybody to hear about is that when you told me this concept and you shared with me this story, it literally changed my life and my outlook and understanding on what it really meant to become an empowered person who leverages. And I'd like you to share it. It's the story of the dandelion, Jack.
Well, I always talk I often use analogies to help me describe something. And when it came to leverage, I would talk about this this concept of the dandelion. You go into a meadow of grass and you go there and you plant a dandelion, and then you go away and you come back and you have a field of dandelions. And that's how things can just start to take on their own energy. And it's a small point. It can seem like, oh yeah, okay. But, if we really look at that and how can what we do kind of emulate nature? How can we match to that? Because, I find like that things that happen in nature, those are such great tools to teach us how to live and how to live an empowered life. The American Indians, and they followed it. The Aborigines, they really were in tune with nature and how that they would get in a rapport with, like, act like nature.
Well, I think it's about when we understand an ecosystem, and really nature is this interconnected webbing of different ecosystems, and we are the same. There's an ecosystem within us, and the more we can interconnect with our world around us in a way that's interconnected, interdependent, I think we start to take on that same ability. With the story of the dandelion, the reason why it was so profound to me, Jack, was because, first of all, you said if you go into a meadow of grass, you plant a dandelion, watch it leave, come back and watch it take on its own energy. Oh my gosh, like that is so relevant to so many areas of our life. One, if you plant the dandelion in a environment or an ecosystem that is natural to it, that is where it takes on its own energy. If you were to plant that same dandelion into, like, let's say the desert, walk away and come back, we're not guaranteed it would have that same, or it wouldn't have that same multiplying, take on its own energy effect. So now we bring it back to our lot.
Yeah, well, it would take more manufactured ways in order for it to thrive. If we try to plant dandelions in the desert, then we have to truck in water and we have to use all these manufactured ways, and it's not a natural way where it can just take on its own energy.
So that's an important concept in our lives, is because when we get into alignment with what is natural, within like what would be considered our own ecosystem or our own interconnected world, that are our own seeds of creation, our own acts of intention, that are in alignment with who we're meant to be on the inside to match that life we want to live outside, and we get that in rapport, that is where it can take on its own energy. So if we look at our lives and then we look at what areas of our lives are we having to manufacture so much for it to thrive or even survive? People can look at their health, and there's a lot of people that have to like manufacture even energy. This is what all these energy caffeine products are based on.
Right.
And this is
and then I have to manufacture a way to sleep then too, because then I can't sleep. So
that's a small little sliver of how it represents ourselves. It happens in a whole range of what happens with our health, where people have to manufacture a place to feel good. And then there's like the whole range with trying to manufacture, let's say, a wealthy life, where people are getting in debt because it's not real, it's not organic, it's not natural.
Empower 11 Radio.